In this video I'm going to show you how to do a faux picot border. So this is quite a nice way to finish blankets and even clothing. So I'm demonstrating it here on a plain, just a solid granny square. So it's a 2-row or 2-round stitch pattern, with the first row being a kind of setup round that allows us to evenly place the faux picots. So these are faux picots because we're not normally when we make a picot we make a chain and then we slip stitch back into the chain. So here it's a bit easier because we're not slip stitching back into the chain, we're literally going back into our little setup round, which then still gives us the look of a picot, although admittedly it is a slightly sort of softer look really. So I have got a readily made, just a solid granny square here. This is just my regular pattern, but there's lots out there. I'll put a link to my pattern if you want to. I'm using a contrast colour. You could obviously use the same colour, but I'm using contrast colour here just so that it's a little bit easier for you to see what's going on. I've got double knit cotton and a 3.5mm hook. Obviously you'll be using whatever you're using for your project. So I'm going to start in a corner space. I've got the tail end of my yarn. I'm holding it as if it's already attached. I'm going to pull up a loop and I'm going to chain one. Then I'm going to put one single crochet, which is a UK double, into that corner space. So for just a quick refresher for that, that's no yarn over into the stitch, pull up a loop, you've got 2, yarn over, draw off 2. So that's one single. And then you're going to do a chain 2, and then you're going to put another 2 singles in exactly the same space, 2 UK doubles. So what I've got here is a chain, a single crochet, 2 chains, and then 2 single crochets. Currently not symmetrical, but when we come back round the other side we will be finishing it off. Next up you're going to do a chain 1. Then you're going to skip a stitch, which might be hidden by the stitches you've just done. So mine's there. And then I'm going to put a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And that's basically the sequence. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2. Chain 1, crochet in a cat hair, skip 1, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 1, skip 1, 2 singles, chain 1, skip 1, 2. So basically very simple. This is what it should be looking like. So let's just whip along to the next corner and I'll show you how to do a full corner. Chain 1, I am skipping this last stitch and I'm going to do a full corner. So full corner is into your corner space. I'm putting 2 singles, 2 chains and 2 singles. So slightly different. We've just got a chain 2 there, just to give us a little bit more turning space in that corner. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2. So that's basically it. I'm going to go all the way round and I will meet you back at the beginning or end, whichever way you like to think of it. Just coming back to the start, 2 singles, chain 1, back into that corner. This is not the same as all the others at the minute, because remember we only started off with 1 single, so I need to put another single in there, and then I need to 1 single in the corner space, then I need to do a slip stitch into the top of the first single that I made. So this is what it's looking like. Kind of quite understated at the minute. We're basically, as you've probably sort of gathered, we're just making these little chain 1 holes, which will be like little slots for us to put our faux picots in. Let's start row 2 or round 2 really. So I'm going to slip stitch into my chain 2 corner, and then I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to single crochet, and then I'm going to make a chain 3, and then I'm going to single crochet straight back into that exact same space. So that's our first faux picot in the corner. So that's literally all it is. It's just a single crochet, a chain 3 and a single crochet. Obviously slight anomaly here, start of the round, we did start with a chain 1. Then we're going to chain 2. You should skip the 2 singles that you made, and in the chain 1 space, so I tend to just read these legs, and then the chain has obviously got no legs, so I just sort of push the hook in, and it always sort of follows the path of least resistance. So I do a single in the chain 1 space, then a chain 3, and then another single. That's my second faux picot made. Next up, chain 2. Skip 2 singles into the chain 1 space. You're going to single, chain 3, single. So that's it basically. You've got each faux picot is separated by a chain 2. So some tips with this are, because this is an edging or a border and we want to keep it looking really neat, try and keep your live loop, so that's the loop that's on the hook, try and keep it more or less the same size as the hook when you're making your chains. Because if you let that get, I'm exaggerating it, but if you let that get too baggy, you get sloppy chains. So we're not crocheting tightly, we're crocheting neatly, so there is a difference. So same size as the hook. Naturally when you crochet you might have the loop slightly enlarged, don't know if you can see that, but in this case we want to crochet true to hook size. So the loop, we just pull it until it's the exact size of the hook, and then we make our chain. So I've done 2 there, and the same with the single crochets. Keep this live loop really nice and neat as you make your stitches, because it gives everything a much crisper and finished look. We're not making it tight, we're making it neat. Chain 3, single crochet back into the space. Chain 2, everything nice and neat. Skip 2 into the next chain 1 space. You're going to single, 1, 2, 3 chains, and then single back into the chain 1 space to create another faux picot. So that's basically it. I'm just going to go along until we get to the next corner. So I'm coming up to the last chain 1 space, and then obviously in the corner we got we still need to do our chain 2, and in this corner we've actually got a chain 2 space. So I'm single crocheting into the chain 2 space, doing my 3 chains, and I'm single crocheting back into the chain 2 space. So technically we're not actually doing an increase for this corner. Chain 2, skip the singles, single crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 3, single crochet back into the chain 1 space. So that's what your corner should be looking like, and then we just follow in pattern. Chain 2, our faux picot, in the chain 1 space, chain 2, faux picot. So I'm going to go ahead and whip round, and I will come back to you when I'm ready to do a sewn bind off. So for this, when we fasten off, it's a border trim, so in general it's always a little bit better in terms of a smart finish to do a sewn bind off or an invisible bind off. But obviously this is a slightly lacy stitch pattern with the chains, so I'm going to show you how to do a sewn bind off when we're finishing the round with a chain. So I'm just coming up to the last faux picot, 1, 2, 3, back into the space, and we finish with the chain 2. But actually, because we are doing a sewn bind off, we're going to rewind 1 stitch. So we're going to pull out 1 chain, alternatively just do a chain 1 instead of a chain 2. Cut the yarn, leave a long enough tail for sewing, because you're going to need a wool or a tapestry needle. Might actually use a bigger one just so it's a bit more visible. So normally we would have done a chain 2, but because we're going to do a sewn bind off, which always creates a mock stitch, and we finish with a chain, we do something slightly different than normal. Normally we would skip a stitch, but this time we're just not going to make an extra stitch, hence only making 1 chain. So you're going to get the tail end and you're going to pull it all the way up, out even, till the end pops out. So if this doesn't make, what I've just said doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, just follow the instructions. So you're going to end with a chain 1, you're going to cut the yarn with a tail long enough to sew in, and you're going to get your wool or tapestry needle. I'm going to have a look here what we did at the beginning. Do you remember we did a chain 1 and a single crochet? So that's where your needle is going, through both loops, front to back. Pull that to the back. So this is what I've done here, this little bit. So turn the work over to the wrong side. Make sure you can see the top edge, so you won't be able to do it looking bang on face on from the back. You'll need to roll it forward so that you can see the top edges of your stitches. So that's the bit I've just done. So you can give it a bit of a pull to see where it's coming from, because wherever it's coming from, so it's gone under that first stitch you made, it's coming out of the last chain you made, your needle needs to go down through the middle of that chain, the last chain you made, okay, and then pull gently. So what you might notice now is that that's what I've just done there. I've actually made a mock chain, so that's completely unstable at the minute, so I'm going to stabilize it. I'm going to pick up the back ridge of the first stitch I made, and then I'm going to go into these single crochets, the last 2 single crochets I made. So just being careful not to pull it too tight, because if you pull it too tight it kind of disappears, but we actually want it to be about the same size as the other chains. Okay, so that's gone one direction. I'm going to split a bit of that stitch and I'm going to come back, maybe even go down into this previous row here where it's nice and congested, and that's enough for that. So just make sure you haven't puckered the work, and then that's, go up there a little bit. So we're always, as always with crochet, sewing and ends with crochet, it's the change of direction that is going to stop things coming out. So go one direction, catch something and go back the other way. So that's that, and then I've got the tail end, which I've already crocheted over some of it, so I'm going to split this first bit of yarn here, and I'm going to go into this first set of stitches, pop up there. I just noticed that I've actually done a really bad job with my nail varnish. I don't usually wear nail varnish, but I haven't really let that dry enough, and it's crocheting has sort of dented the polish. Anyway, I've gone back the opposite way and I'm going to trim that off. So there we go, that's it, finished. Oh, I've got an end here to sew in. This end of that previous row again. I'm just going to split a strand. I've already crocheted over the top of it, so I only need to go one direction. Pull that through, just make sure I'm not puckering anything, and trimming it off carefully. Won't bother with that middle one. There you go. So obviously, as I said before, I've just done this on a granny, like a traditional a solid granny square, just to do the demo. But you know, this really is a lovely and simple stitch to add on a border for a blanket, or hems and cuffs of sweaters and cardigans. Also very pretty. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you give it a go, drop me a message, or even email me and send me a photo of what you made. I always love to see what you've been making. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so that I can keep making more videos that you might find useful. Thank you.